5 seconds. One of the biggest mistakes we made when we gained independence was not to have overhauled thoroughly our educational system and structure. We are paying for it now. It is very easy to know what one wants to do, but in a country of this size and diversity and with our constitution, which places education on the state list, it is not very easy to change these things. Nevertheless, I am glad to say that our present education ministry is making a valiant effort to make certain changes, not all the changes which we would like to have, but at least some changes point to a direction where we hope the entire nation will soon be able to follow. We have first of all to think of what is education and what we want to education to do for us. No doubt there is a need for good institutions, for good schools and colleges and universities, but education is not something that is confined to the classroom. It is something which begins from the moment a baby is born till the last breath of the old person draws. One is learning continuously from what is happening to one or around one, from the people with whom one thing is mixing, from the books one is reading, and even from the events of the world which may take place far away. And it is this ability to learn which is true education. As Swami Vivekananda has put it, education is not what a person learns but what he becomes. So, all these ideas are with us since far long, and we have to see how we can translate them into reality in our lives. There is no doubt that education has to be closely linked with the life of the community in which the child or the student lives. Each of us is one being in which everything must move in coordination. If coordination does not work, then it is very hard for the human being. And through education, we want to develop human beings who are well coordinated not only within themselves but with the lives around them, with the lives of the human beings, with the life of nature. The suggestion is made that we should have greater vocational training in education. It is a good suggestion, but it can be a limiting suggestion because if we think only of a particular vocation with the fast changes in society, if that particular vocation might no longer be there, then what does that man do? Is he prepared to adapt himself? Is he resourceful enough to be able to face the challenge and take up another vocation? So we need vocational training, but more than that, we need young men and women who can use their hearts, their minds, and their hands together in the service of their country, and of course, in the process, earn a living for themselves. I think that we have to curtail university education. We must open out different courses. Instead of a person having a general degree, he should learn something specific which he can put to use, and at the same time to have a broadening of the mind so that he can go on learning no matter what he is doing or where he is living. Today, more and more universities abroad are trying to combine studies in the classroom with work in the factory or work in the field. I think this was the meaning of basic education also. We must bring about a situation where even after you have your degree, wherever you are working, it should also be a place of study. In each factory, people from one section can teach something to people from another section. What you teach is not so important as the attitude of mind that you have something that you can teach, and there is much that you have to learn no matter how much you have studied. One truth science is teaching us is that the more advanced we make, so much more there is that is unknown and still has to be discovered. Through education, we should try to inculcate this new attitude. There is another great debate today concerning the role of science and technology. When I was small, we thought that science was a magic wand, that through science the work would be transformed, and that poverty, misery, want, all these things would go and a new society would emerge. We now see that this has not happened. Science has advanced, technology has grown, but it has created many new problems. It has not always solved the old problems. Does it mean that these are bad, or does it merely mean that we human beings have not had the wisdom to use science and technology for the right purpose? So you come back to the same point that it depends on your attitude towards life, towards your neighbor, as to how you will use your knowledge, how you will learn more, and therefore how you will be able to influence the people around you. It is no use you are learning something if it is going to be locked up in yourself. It should be used for a purpose, and unless you can use it, you will not be happy. You can use it only if you are enthusiastic or concerned about what is happening around you. And one of the things which modern life has produced is attitude of unconcern and of carelessness. The larger the city, the more of this you find. I think that it is this more than anything which breeds frustration and unhappiness. I think most people in the world look for some kind of happiness. Some think that they get it with a rank. Some think that they get it with possessions. But perhaps each person has to find it in his own way. I think you get it only if you give of yourself, whether it is knowledge, talent, concern, feelings. These are the things that if you give, you get back in a much greater measure. And I think education should make us capable of giving, and it is only when you are capable of giving that you are truly capable of receiving from others.